MDI has a wonderful role in partnering people from one country with another. And for us in America, MDI assembled a team of women to go and do the women's conferences. They asked women who have a heart for other women, women who necessarily aren't known to be a super strong teacher, may not have ever spoken at a conference before or whatever, but asked us to go and open up and share our lives with the women in Ukraine. And the first thing we found out was that as we opened up and were vulnerable and shared our brokenness and how the Lord has ministered to us, that brought down huge walls. Because the perspective of many in the world is that if you're in America, you've got it all together. You don't experience problems. And if you're a Christian, your life is really going to be perfect. And that's not the truth. The truth is that life is hard. And so to just tear down that misconception and say, we struggle too. We struggle with the same things you do, and Jesus is our answer. It was a wonderful thing. What we found in working with women in Ukraine is that women are the same. We were very surprised to find that they struggle with husbands, with wanting to be married or being married or wishing their husbands would come back. We have discovered plenty of women in abusive marriages. The struggle to raise children in a culture that is very difficult. They struggle with finances. They struggle with good parenting questions. They struggle with how to be a good friend, how to find a good friend. It's the exact same issues of women anywhere. What we bring is not necessarily, we know so much more than you, but we have access to a few more resources. For instance, one of the things that we understood from a recent trip was just that there is little understanding of addiction to pornography, alcoholism. That's growing in that country, but in particular, pornography is a huge, huge problem in Ukraine. Everything is right in front of you, walking down the street. Everything is accessible, even more so than in the United States. And yet there's little understanding about the dangers of it, what happens when addiction is occurring, how it affects a marriage and a family. And so what we can bring to that situation in the future is simply education. That's been researched here. There's things going on here, programs, people understanding the roots of that addiction, how to deal with it. And that's the kind of thing we can take over. So in the conferences, we're available. MDI has learned to give each one of the American women a translator that stays with us the whole weekend, so that not only do we teach a seminar or speak or share a testimony with a group, but we're also available as we're walking along the sidewalk, as we're sitting at a meal. We are there to have conversations and to share the love of Christ. One woman in particular on this last trip was the one who prayed over me and just loved on me at the end of the conference. And 2 years prior, she had been one of the women in an abusive marriage and had come and spoken, and one of our ladies had shared about coming out of that abusive marriage. And this woman, through that, found the freedom in Christ to step away from a man who'd been abusing her for a very long time. And now this woman is giving and loving and serving. It was amazing.